I do have a couple of fan questions here.
Okay.
So are we ready for that? Is that
Yeah. Let's hear it. Hopefully, I'm ready for him. What do you got?
all right? So this is our mailbag part of the episode, and from Matt, he asked, "Who will the Rangers closer be if Leclerc keeps this up?" So if this continues with Leclerc, and it's been rough, who do you see the Rangers going to as a closer? Maybe someone you can grab right now.
Um, let's see. So, I think the quick answer was David Robertson. Um, I could even see Kirby Yates getting some
Okay.
some leeway. He's looked phenomenal, and he's probably the guy like that may still be out there, right? Um, he's rostered in 17% of leagues, but he has yet to give up a run this year, right? And he's only allowed was it one base runner, right? Yeah, he's allowed one hit and no
Mm.
walks in four appearances. So I could absolutely see Kirby Yates getting some run and probably a guy who's available in most leagues. So that would be my answer. If you can pick up anyone, I'd probably go for him.
Another question, and this is kind of I talked about this earlier, is from Gina. We love the female listeners. Tyler O'Neill, what the heck? Can he keep it up?
Yeah, 100%. He can. Um, is it a bet I'm willing to take? I don't think so. Um, I hope he does. It's good for baseball because he's so much fun to watch. And Boston, for all the losses that they've kind of taken over the last few years, it's fun to see them finally get a win in Tyler O'Neill and take him away from St. Louis. I'm happy he's not doing this in St. Louis as a Cubs fan, obviously. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, can he? Yes. If you want to take that risk, I would not blame you for holding on to him and trying to ride it out. But yeah, if I can get a top 75 player for him, which I think is certainly possible because I think that's, the kind of ceiling that he has. He's obviously showing that right now. He's even a top, 50 player if everything clicks. So can he do it? Yes. Certainly has the tools for it. It's just the health, right? Can he stay healthy? That's the part where I'm like, because this time next week he could be done for a
Yep.
little while, and so I don't want that like that quick drop off. If it comes playoff times and you have him and oh look he's out for a couple weeks, like that's a key cog in your roster. I want a little more safety. So yeah, he can. Just not willing to take that risk.
All right, one more fan question, and I have a couple for you, just for me. But Max is asking, he's in an auction league, and so he drafted heavy on offense. So
Mhm.
he was able to spend a lot on offensive guys. For example, he has both Mookie Betts and Mike Trout, so
Sure.
he's looking good offensively so far. So he has offense to spare, but he's looking for pitching. He was offered Nathan Ivaldi and Jackson Holliday, who was just called up,
Mhm.
for CJ Abrams and Juan Soto, who's been off to a
Mm,
hot start.
no, but I mean, for
The
Juan
thing for
Soto,
me
there's
is we don't know enough about Jackson Holiday, and Evaldi's always been a health risk.
yeah,
Soto,
no,
is going to be healthy, and Jackson Holiday probably will be better than CJ Abrams this year, like moving
I
forward.
wouldn't even think
But like,
so.
yeah, I don't know.
No, no, tell him he should hit decline immediately. Like Juan Soto is not going to move. Like if I was offered Evaldi and Jackson Holiday for Juan Soto, no way. I'm not taking that.
Yeah.
Like New York's on fire. Soto's like key cog in that team.
Yep.
Like absolutely no way. And CJ Abrams is actually a guy who I've been wrong on because the
Yeah. I
one
mean, I
knock
was high on him. I was really high on him.
the one knock I had on him was just that he didn't hit the ball hard enough, and so I'm like, okay, he's going to hit 10 home runs at the most and steal out of bases. He's hitting the ball. He's hitting the shit out of the ball right now. Like so, and absolutely, I'm not moving on from Abrams unless I get a good return. And like you said, Evaldi's a health risk. Yeah, if you're decimated for injuries, I can see it. But I also think there's plenty of guys who are probably available that you can go grab pitching wise who have a good ceiling. Trying to think like I know Cade Horton's one that I'm thinking of, right?
How about, so I got
Mhm.
two for you, two names for you.
Sure. Okay.
Martin Perez, can he keep it up? I know
Yeah.
you mentioned him on last
Mhm.
episode. I mean, he's just been crazy good. And then, is this a sell a buy low guy? Uh, Brian Bayo. I mean, please tell me he's a buy low guy because he's been not great at all for me.
Yeah, he's one I was high on last year. I think he definitely
I'm
bounces
high.
back.
Everyone was
Um,
high on him, and At this point last year, I remember it was exactly this time last year where I was looking around the league like, oh, who wants to buy low on like I feel like I don't want to sell right now because it was Sandy Alcantara who started so terribly. I was like, I'm not getting rid of him because and then by the end of the year, I was like, man, this guy just sucked all year. Who was a guy who was we'd seen him do it in the past, was really hyped. I'm a little bit scared right now.
Yeah, and if you are looking for arms, back to the just the question because I was, pulling up some names here. There's some prospects that I'm willing to kind of hold on for a while because again, this season's a marathon. I'm not trying to trade for the hot arm right now. If you can go pick up maybe one or two of these guys, Ricky Tiedemann, Cade Horton, Christian Scott, like we talked about earlier, AJ Smith Shaver, even Jack Leiter, Jackson Job is getting a little bit farther down there. He's just maybe a while, but Drew Thorpe, Nick Nastrini, like there's tons of guys. All of these guys are probably going to make a debut at some point and come up and have a fantasy impact. So I'd rather wait on some of those guys and maybe take a couple flyers now and hold on rather than going and do not trade Juan Soto for Holiday and Eovaldi. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. Jackson Holiday, super high ceiling, but at that point too, you're giving up CJ Abrams. Like, no, not a
Yeah.
chance.
And so that's interesting. So maybe he could try and get more pitching out of CJ Abrams because maybe CJ is a little bit of a sell high type of guy.
Yeah.
But I also it's interesting because and the reason I chose that question is because it puts in perspective, and I don't know if he wrote this before or after Jackson Holiday was called up, but it puts in perspective how we feel about Jackson Holiday. That's
Mhm.
kind of what I wanted to get out here, where he's great, and it's nice that he's called up early, and it's going to be super cool to see him play. But keep it in perspective. He's still a rookie who's going to go through his lumps and is in a loaded lineup. And if he's not performing, they didn't bring him up to bench him. But if he's not performing, he may play 5 days a week instead of seven. He may not have every at bat because this is a team that's trying to win games as much as they're trying to, develop and move these guys along. They're not going to risk wins for it. So if he is struggling, which will happen because he's a rookie, uh, that kind of again puts it in perspective of how we feel about him.
Yeah, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? Is the saying, and Jackson Holiday is one of the birds in the bush, right? We don't know what we're gonna get from him. I don't think it's gonna be bad. I'm not saying like, oh, he could be terrible. Like
He's going
he's
to be really
probably going
good,
to
I
be good.
think.
He's gonna be
Yeah.
very good, right? But is he going to be a top 10 fantasy guy moving forward? We just don't know that. There's such a wide range of outcomes that I'm not willing to take that kind of. I think this is where like dynasty baseball leaks into the redraft league a little bit too much because Jackson Holiday is a top 20 dynasty asset at this point, right?
Oh, for
There's
sure.
no question about that. But is he a top 20 redraft player? That's where it's like, I don't really know. Like we're getting to that point where maybe he's not. And now that he's been called up, he pushes up a little bit. But yeah, don't go crazy over him. Don't go trading Juan Soto for him because um, you're gonna regret that, especially when Evaldi gets hurt, or if when Evaldi gets hurt.
Soto for Jackson Holiday in a dynasty league, straight up.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean Soto's proven and he's 25 also. It's not like he's
well,
that
right.
much
It's not
older.
like he's old,
Yeah,
right? If
yeah.
Soto was like 30, okay, sure, I could see
Right, if
that,
it was
but
Aaron Judge, yeah.
yeah, it's not like Soto is a bad, he's not. I just no, there's no chance.
All right. So that's gonna do it for us on this episode. Good one, I think.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of stuff, a lot of topics. And so until next time, everyone, please continue to like, subscribe, share it, send those questions, send those mailbag questions in. We appreciate it. If there's nothing else that you have, that's all I got.
No, I think it was a good episode. Send the questions in and let us know what you think in the comments.
Yep. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.